Welcome to Quote and Conquer, the podcast where powerful words meet powerful action. Let's conquer one quote at a time. You are not trapped by your past. You are trapped by the story you keep telling yourself daily. Most people don't need more motivation. They need a new identity. Because when your identity shifts, everything changes. Hey, everybody, it's Joey Walters. Welcome back to Quote and Conquer, the podcast where powerful words meet powerful action. That sentence came from one of the most important chapters of my book, Breaking from the Chains of Your Past to Create a New Future. Not because it sounds good, but because it's true. I have lived it, and I have worked and coached many people that all felt the same thing. We were all stuck, not because we weren't capable, but because we were carrying an old story that sounded like this: I am not enough. I always mess up. I'm behind. I'm not built for this. Those are not thoughts, those are chains. So, with that, I want to get into this week's quote. Until you change how you see yourself, you will never change what you achieve. By James Allen. Let me say that again. Until you change how you see yourself, you will never change what you achieve. Why is this so true? Because we don't rise to the level of our goals and our dreams. We fall to the level of our identity. So now I want to get in and talk a little bit about who James Allen was. He lived in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. Wasn't born into wealth, wasn't famous, wasn't connected. He grew up in poverty, lost his father at an early age, had to start working at a very young age just to survive. And for a long time, he struggled like many, financially, emotionally, and mentally. But instead of blaming the world, he studied himself. He became obsessed with one question: why do so many people rise while others stay stuck? He spent years reading, writing, and observing human behavior. And then he realized something powerful. People don't fail because they lack opportunity. They fail because they lack identity. So he began writing about thought, discipline, character, and self mastery. Not theory, not practice, but he lived what he taught. No hype, no shortcuts, no excuses. And his most famous book, As a Man Thinketh, has influenced many leaders, athletes, entrepreneurs, and thinkers for over 100 years because the message still works. The outer world is a mirror of your inner world. Your habits, your confidence, your consistency, your income, your leadership all come from your identity. Not talent, not luck, identity. Hi, everyone. Quick interruption from the episode. If this is speaking to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification because you don't want to miss out. And share it with someone who may need it. The link is in the episode notes. It only takes a moment and it can change someone's life. I believe in divine timing, and that can put the right message in front of the right person at the right time to make a huge difference. So let's make this happen together. And without further ado, let's get right back in the episode. You know, most people try to change their behavior first. I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to start grinding harder. I'm going to get more discipline. But if your identity still stays the same, and it sounds something like this: I'm inconsistent, I'm bad with money, I am not worthy, I am not a good leader, you will always snap back because your identity is home. You protect what feels familiar, even when it's destroying you inside. So now I want to talk a little bit about a story on how this quote affected my life. So now I want to get into a story about myself. You know, I have lived many seasons throughout my life, and seasons where I felt and maybe looked on the outside like I had it all together. I was doing great. But deep down inside, my mind was a battlefield. I obsessed with my thoughts. I felt like a fraud. Every mistake I replayed over and over. Every failure I magnified. Every doubt I believed it. I would lie awake some nights in bed and have the same negative thoughts run over. And as I've said in previous podcasts, you become what you think, and your mind is like a farmer's field, and whatever you plant will grow. So if you're planting negative thoughts and you're planting your past mistakes, that's what ends up continuing to happen. You fall deeper and deeper behind and not where you need to be. And, I struggle with this. I still struggle with this, from time to time. I get into these ruts, these time periods where I let my sabotage pattern take over. I come from a dark place, not from an evil place mentally, but from a dark place where I have to control everything that's going on in my life. I work extra hard because I think grinding and working 16 hours a day is going to get me out of it. But deep down inside, I know that's not true because I'm not surrendering and just allowing things to happen. I'm trying to force things to happen. I micromanage situations. I get emotional. I react instead of responding. And so when I get into these seasons, I have to take a step back and I have to reset my identity. I need to start changing the way I'm looking at certain things on a daily basis. Because when I get into this sabotage pattern, I start eating at night, overeating, and then I feel shame and guilt. I obsess about, you know, the next day I'm going to get back on the wagon and start eating healthy and get back into working out and walking, and then I have to snap out of it. So for me, the best way to do that is just really take it day by day, but most importantly, just live for the present. That's one of the things that I need to do better, and that's what I try to focus on with my identity. I can't control tomorrow, and yesterday is history, and today is a gift. And I need to focus on what are the most important things for me to do today with my identity, with my thoughts, and then match that with my actions, my habits, and my discipline, and my consistency, and my persistency over a period of time. I need to raise my standards. Now, listen, we're going to go through all kinds of seasons because we get setbacks. We lose things, we lose business, we lose loved ones, we deal with difficult situations. And so it's how you bounce back and how you are cognizant and aware. And every time you get into these seasons, it is important for you to really learn how to snap out of them. And the quicker you snap out of them, you can build that resiliency muscle to continue to go. Anyways, I just wanted to share that for me, it's really about breaking down my identity and making sure that I have the right discipline. And most importantly, I go back to how I've overcome these seasons in the past. And I know that no one's coming to save me. And so there's no book, no coach, no program. It's me. It's me versus me. And the only way I can change is to make sure that I love that person in the mirror. Not from an ego standpoint, but from a self love discipline standpoint. From a standpoint that I need to not lie to myself. And the mind was created to solve problems, not create them. And we all create them and we all lie to ourselves. And it's BS and it's not true. And you can start by changing your identity and not falling into that trap. And I still do. But as I said before, it's all how you snap out of it. And, doing the tough things and building the resiliency, that's how you get out of it. You start feeding your mind with the right truth, the right standards, the right vision, the discipline, and slowly, your habits change, your energy gets back, and you get back on track. For me, visualization is so important, picturing like it's already done and who I truly want to be. Quick interruption from the episode. Your past is lying to you and has been chaining you down for long enough. I know this firsthand. But here's the great news. My book, Breaking from the Chains of Your Past, is a system I use to rebuild my identity, and it'll show you how to break free and create the future that you deserve. And here is the deal. If you attend my free masterclass by clicking the link below, I'll give you the book for free. No strings attached, just transformation. What are you waiting for? Your future starts now. So now I want to get into 5 takeaways on how you can live this quote day in and day out. Number 1, Your past is information, it's not a life sentence. Most people live in the prison of their memories. One failure, one mistake, one bad season, and then your identity becomes tarnished. And you keep saying to yourself, I always fail. I'm not consistent. No, I'm not good enough. But that's just past data. Winners don't study the past, losers do. And so, what you need to do is to focus on what you need to do today in the present. Because, as I often say, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift, and today you can start changing your life. Number two, your identity is your thermostat. Your life is a temperature, and your identity sets it. You can get motivated, you can have momentum, but if your standard is low, you will reset back to comfort. And as I said before, you don't rise to the level of your dreams and what you want to achieve. You fall to the level of your standards. So you need to raise your standards. And that starts with thinking about who you truly want to be and start acting like it every single day. Number three, discipline is a byproduct of self respect. You don't lack discipline, you lack self respect. The integrity, the promises that you keep to yourself. When you respect yourself, you don't negotiate with weakness, you execute. You do things when you don't want to do them because you know they're the right things, because that's who you truly are. High performers don't rely on motivation because that's just a feeling. They rely on their standards and their identity. Number four, your inner voice is either your coach or it can be a silent killer. You're always being coached by your fears or by your identity. You're either saying to yourself, I'm tired, I'm not good enough, I'm behind, or you have a voice that keeps telling you, I'm going to get through this. I have already achieved this. I act as if it is already done. This is how you create a legacy. You train your mind and your body will follow. Number five, identity is built through relentless action. Talk is cheap. I always say to my son, don't tell me you're sorry. Show me you're sorry with your actions. Confidence is earned. Every promise you keep to yourself creates a self image of who you truly are. Every promise broken destroys it. Small wins, daily execution, no applause, especially when no one's watching. That's how you build yourself up. Actions first, and then the identity will follow. So I want to leave you with this. You're one decision away from a new story. You're one commitment away from a new identity. You're one season of courage away from a new life. Your past does not need to define you. Your excuses are not who you truly are. You are your habits. You are who your standards are. So today, stop asking, what can I get? Start asking, who am I becoming? Because when you change the person you want to be, you change the mission, you change your world, and you can go out and conquer it. Well, that's all for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you got something out of it, and that way you can go and implement it. Remember, I always say, don't just hear the words, live them. You only live life once. So, what are you waiting for? The world is yours to conquer. Definitely running with the soldiers on this one.